Good morning, students. So this is the second session for employee cost. We'll be continuing the employee cost. In the last session of employee cost, we covered the concepts of employee, the meaning of employee, the employee cost control, the labor cost control, and how we actually can achieve, the minimum wage cost per basically unit of output. And there are many departments which contribute towards labor cost control, and they are monitored and measured at every phase of the activity, at every phase of the production, and it's monitored whether it's through time study or motion study or through job analysis. So everything is actually directed towards achievement of the labor cost control, so that it should be minimum. So in the last session, as I tell, labor cost control does not mean that we should pay as low as possible to the employees, but the wage cost per unit of output should be minimum. All right. And then I explained you how we calculate the earnings paid to the workers and how we calculate the labor cost to the organization. So again, I'm telling you, these two things are very, very important, and there is a slightly difference how we calculate. So basically the difference is earnings available to the workers or the employees. They actually receive that, but the labor cost is for the organization, for the costing purposes. So earnings we calculate for the purpose of paying to the workers or the employees, but the labor cost we calculate for costing purposes. All right, whether to post it to the direct cost, the production cost, or to the overheads. So we'll be continuing with the employee cost, the second session, with the wage systems and the incentive plans and everything. So, and a lot of numericals we are going to do today, so that you basically practice how we have to solve the questions and how we have to approach the question. So we'll starting with systems of wage payment and incentives. So good morning to all of you. So there are we have calculated basically what is the structure of the wage payment. We have the basic wages, then we have the dearness allowance, then we pay all sorts of bonus and commission and whatever activities we do, and we have a monetary payments towards. So a wage basically is a mixture of monetary and non-monetary. All right. And when we pay monetary have the basic wage structure, and also the overtime, and also the, bonuses, and also what premium we are giving to the workers if they are more efficient. So if the workers who are more efficient, we pay the bonus to them, the premium to them. So how we actually calculate what are those premiums, we are going to study in this session. So system of wage payment could be time-based. Time-based means it could be per hour, or it could be monthly based, or it could be weekly based. Output-based, that means it would be per unit based. All right. So it will depend upon the production, the units of production the worker has produced or contributed. Combination of time and output based. Premium bonus paid. This will be for more efficient workers. So if you manage to produce more than the standard output or the standard time, then you are an efficient worker and you will be paid a bonus also. That's called the premium bonus. Group bonus scheme. So when a team is working towards the output, the whole team is basically given the bonus. The team will be sharing the bonus. So that is a group bonus scheme. And incentives for indirect workers. All right. So I hope you remember the difference between direct and indirect. So direct labor, direct employees are those who contribute directly to the production or manufacture. The direct cost is directly attributable to the production cost, and indirect are famously called as overheads. Moving further. So time-based system. So we have a straight time rate system, and this is a system where workers are paid time basis, hourly basis, weekly basis, monthly basis, or daily basis. So how we actually calculate time worked, whatever is the time worked, into rate for the time. So rate per day, or rate per hour, or rate per week, or rate per month, into whatever is the basically the denominator, the measurement unit. Accordingly, we have the time work. So, number of hours in a day, or number of hours in a week, or number of days in a month, and so on. All right. So time-based system is basically for whenever we calculate the wages and the bonus as per the time. So this time-based system is suitable for employees whose services cannot be directly measured. General helpers, supervisory staff, employees engaged in higher scale jobs, and where place of output is independent of the operator. So when there is no direct connection between the services and the output, then the time-based system is more suitable. Then output-based or piece rate, that means it coincides with the production units. The straight piece rate system, under the system, each operation, job, unit, or production is termed a piece. A rate of payment is a piece rate or a work rate fixed for each piece. So that means rate per unit, all right, or piece of work, whatever you have done. The wages of the worker depend upon his output, and rate of each unit of output is independent of the time taken by him. So the wages we pay number of units produced into rate per unit. So simply put, it's number of units produced, whatever is the output a worker has produced, into rate per unit of output. Right. So then we have the premium bonus method. So one of the most famous methods are Healthy Premium Plan. We also call it 50% premium plan. So under Healthy Premium Plan, a standard time is fixed for each job or process. All right. If there is no saving on the standard time allowance, the worker is paid only his daily rate. So if the standard time, all right, the time allowed, you can say, but the standard time is kept for 5 hours, that this particular job is to be completed within 5 hours. All right. And if the worker has completed the job in 6 hours, so that means he has completed the job in more than the time allowed. All right. So he has gone beyond the time allowed. In this case, he is not that efficient. The job should have been completed within 5 hours, but the worker has taken 6 hours. He will not be given the bonus. All right. Because bonus is paid when you have finished the task less than the time allowed or the standard time. So if the worker has completed the task in 6 hours, no bonus, of course, he's going to get the time wage. He's going to get the basic wage, but not the bonus. All right. And if he has finished the work in 4 hours, that means less than the standard time, he has saved 1 hour. So whenever the worker has finished the time, the work before the standard time or the time allowed, then if there is a saving in the time, right, that means he is an efficient worker and he should be paid bonus. According to the plans, he will be paid according to the proportion of the time saved. Right. So under Healthy Plan, a standard time is fixed for each job or process, and standard time is fixed basically on the basis of past experiences, on the basis of that time and motion study which is being done for every job or a process. I hope you remember time study and motion study. Time study is basically done by engineering study department, which studies and measures the time taken for every job. And motion study is they basically measure what in what all processes and what all activities the job or a process or a production output passes through. So what all activities has to be done to complete a job, and how many time every activity takes. So on the basis of time and motion study, on the basis of various other things and past experiences, a standard time is fixed for every job and process. If there is no saving on this standard time, the worker is paid only his day rate. Day rate means the basic wage. He will not be paid the bonus, but he will be paid the normal salary or the wages. He gets his time rate even if he exceeds the standard time limit. As I explained, if he took 6 hours, the standard time was 5 hours, but he took 6 hours to complete that job, he will still be getting the time rate, the basic wage or the salary, but not the bonus. If, however, he does the job in less than the standard time, he gets a bonus equal to 50% of the wages of time saved. So if he has done the work in 4 hours, in contrast with 5 hours, the standard time is 5 hours, and he managed to complete the work in 4 hours, he saved 1 hour. So 50% of that 1 hour, that means for half a day, he will be paid the bonus at the guaranteed time rate. The employer benefits by the other 50%. So the scheme also is sometimes referred to as Healthy 50% plan, because the worker gets the bonus of 50% of the time saved. That's why it's called a healthy 50% premium plan. So time taken into time rate plus 50% of time saved into time rate. All right. So if I explain you here. All right. So this time taken into time rate is the normal wages. All right. And this portion is the bonus. All right. So time taken into time rate, if I take an example that the standard time was 6 hours and the time taken was 5 hours. All right. So that means time taken into time rate, and let us say the rate is 5 per hour. This is the rate. The time rate is 5 per hour. So time taken is 5 hours. So 5 hours into 5 per hour. This will be the normal timings. All right. The normal timings and the basic wage. The basic wage is the guaranteed wage. And the second portion of this, it will be the bonus. So how much he saved? He saved 1 hour, 6 minus 5. He was supposed to do the work in 6 hours. He did the work in 5 hours. He saved 1 hour. So 50% of time saved, that means 1 hour. 50% of 1 hour, that means he will be paid bonus for half a day. Into the time rate. Time rate again is 5 per hour. So the second portion is the bonus. The first is the normal basic wage, which every worker will be getting on the basis of the time taken. All right. So there are two proportions. So these are the total wages. So this whole is the total wages he is going to receive, the basic wage plus the bonus for, completing the task in less than the 6 hours. If let us say the standard time is 6 and the worker has taken 7 hours, then he will be getting the wages for 7 hours. So time taken would be 7 into 5, but he will not be getting the bonus because he has not saved the time. He has taken the time in exceeding of the standard time. He will be getting the guaranteed wage, but not the bonus. Yeah. So I hope things are clear in health premium. Any doubt here? Okay. Bar system is not basically, earlier it used to be, but now bar system we don't refer. So we refer mostly the healthy premium plan. So Neil Kumar, I have just given the example of healthy premium. We'll be doing a lot of numericals, so don't worry. All right. Yes, Dhyanesh, it actually depends upon the policy of the company. Not every time, you complete the task in less than the standard time, you get a bonus. But yes, in most of the organizations, they give. Otherwise, what all incentives the worker will? Why the worker or the employee will finish the task in less than the standard time if there is no incentive? All right. So incentives are always a motivation for the employees to work better, to be more efficient. So if they won't be getting any premium bonus, so they will also, be sitting idle. And why would they finish the time in less than the standard time? So it's mostly in organizations, they have the premium bonus policies. All right. Let's move on to the second method, Rowan premium plan. So according to this system, a standard time again is fixed for the performance of a job. And the bonus is paid if time is saved. All right. So I'm again repeating. If the time is not saved, they will be getting the basic wages or salaries. But if the time is saved in comparison with the standard time allowed, then yes, the bonus will be given. So bonus will be given only if the time is saved. That means the worker has taken the time less than the standard time. If he has taken more than the standard time, he will be getting the basic wage or salary for the time taken, but not the bonus. So in the Rowan plan, time taken into rate per hour. So again, this part is the basic wage or salary part. And this second section of this equation is basically the bonus. All right. So this is the basic wages and this is the bonus proportion. So under Rowan, Time saved by time allowed. Time allowed is basically the standard time. All right. Time allowed is the standard time to do a particular job or a process. So time saved by time allowed into time taken into rate per hour. So exactly in same proportion, you will be getting the bonus, the time saved by time allowed. So this is the bonus and premium plan. Okay. So we have one illustration. This is the time rate per hour, Halsey and Rowan. So you have to calculate for both. Just try it out. We'll also discuss. Time rate per hour is 60. Time allowed is 8 hours. So time allowed means this is the standard time. Time taken 6 hours and time saved is 2 hours. So under Halsey, how you're going to do it? Time taken is 6 hours. So time taken 6 into rate per hour. Rate per hour is 60. Clear? So under Halsey, 6 hours into 60 is basically your basic wages, how much, whatever you have taken the time. So 6 hours into 60 plus. Now the bonus will start because you have saved 2 hours. So half of the time saved. Time saved is 2 hours. Half of the time saved is 1 hour into the rate per hour, which is 60. Clear? So the amount comes to 420. Out of that, 360 is your basic wage and 60 is your premium bonus. All right. So I hope you have understood this. 360 is on account of the time work. Whatever time you have taken, whether it's less than the standard time or more than the standard time, whatever is the time taken, you will get the basic wage for that. All right. But bonus you will get only if the time taken is less than the time allowed. That means if there is a saving in the time, then only you'll get the bonus. So 6 hours into 60, 6 hours is time actually taken, into 60 is the rate per hour. That is the basic wages. Plus now the bonus starts. Half of the time saved. So time saved is 2 hours. So half of the 2 hours is for 1 hour he'll be getting into the rate per hour. So see, it's beneficial for the employer also and for the worker also. Worker is getting 50% of the time saved, the bonus of 50% of time saved. And it's beneficial for employer also because the worker is getting only 50% for the time saved. So 1 hour benefit is for the worker and 1 hour benefit is for the organization. So organization is also saving for that 1 hour because the worker is getting only for 50% of the time saved. All right. So this is a win-win situation for both. So that is a Halsey plan. Calculate the same for Rowan. Calculate the same for Rowan. Rowan plan. Let me see who calculates the answer. This is as per Halsey. Calculate as per Rowan plan. Let me see what's the answer. Anybody who's calculating? Okay. So Danesh has calculated 450 as per Rowan. In Halsey, if time taken is 6 hours, then the wage will be more than the person who works efficiently. There are some advantages and disadvantages for every plan. We'll discuss it later once we do the numericals, and then you will find out actually what is the suitability of the plan. Normal 90 and okay. Rowan plan is costly for the employer. Actually, it depends upon to case to case. So let us just solve the Rowan plan also. Those who have not done or those who could not do. So Rowan plan says what is the time taken again in the Rowan plan. I'm doing it only here. So 6 hours time taken into rate per hour is 60. So this proportion is for the basic plus. Now starts the bonus part. Time saved is 2 hours. Time saved by time allowed. Time allowed is the standard time, which is 8. So time saved divided by time allowed into the same proportion, 6 into 60. Rate per hour into time taken. All right. So it will be, of course, 360. The basic wages will be remain same. And here you just solve it. So it comes out to 90. That means under Rowan, the total wages will be paid as 450. 360 will be the basic and 90 will be the overtime premium. So 450 rupees comes out under the Rowan plan. Rowan plan generally is more expensive than, it's more costly to the labor cost of the Rowan plan is generally comes more costly to the employer in most of the scenarios, but we always should be do, the comparative study between the Health and the Rowan plans. A lot of numericals we are going to do to prove that same. All right. So moving further with these two plans, we're moving further. All right. So we have one more numerical. Just take a note of this question. Two workmen A and B produce the same product using the same material. All right. So they use the same product using the same material. Their normal wage rate is also same. Normal wage rate is also same. A is paid bonus according to Rowan system, while B is paid bonus according to the Health save. All right. The time allowed to make the product is 50 hours. Time allowed. This is the standard time. So standard time is 50 hours. A takes 30 hours. So time taken by A is 30 hours, while it takes 40 hours to complete the product by B. So A takes 30 hours and B takes 40 hours. The factory overhead rate is 5 per man hour actually worked. So the factory overhead rate they have given is 5 per man hour. The factory cost for A is 3490 and for B is 3600. So this is the information they have given. Now we have to calculate the normal rate of wages, which is not given. Compute the cost of material cost and prepare a statement comparing the factory cost of the products as made by the two workmen. So what do you mean by factory cost? How we calculate the factory cost? So remember, factory cost includes many elements. So material, labor, and overheads. Material, labor, and overheads. All three components will make the factory cost. Factory overheads will make the factory cost. All right. So material, labor, and factory overheads. So if we add all the three elements, we get the factory cost. All right. So here the material cost is not given to you. The wage rate is not given to you, but time taken is given to you. And the bonus method is also given to you. A follows the Rowan system and B follows the Health system. So let us just try to do it. Okay. So here basically how we calculate factory cost, material, then the labor and factory overheads. All right. So together they will make the factory cost. All right. Material is not given to us. The time taken is given to us, but the time rate is not given to us. Factory overheads are given to us. So, and the factory cost is also given to us. All right. So we have to just find out the factory cost for the material cost and the labor rate. If we find out, then we can find out the other things and the factory cost for both the workers. So we can say A and we also can write B here. I hope both the two workmen A and B. Okay. So the material cost is not given. So we can say let material cost be X. All right. Now we have to take X for both because they are using the same material. All right. So the material cost will be the same for both the workers. So material cost X and X for both the workers. Now comes to the labor cost. Now labor cost, if we go back to the question, labor cost will be time allowed is 50 hours and time taken 30 hours and 40 hours, 3490 and 3600. All right. So here I'm going to write time allowed is 50 hours. Time taken A 30 hours and B 40 hours. All right. So now the labor, how we are going to calculate for the labor? The labor rate is not given. So the basic wages now, first of all, the basic wages. The basic, let us say the rate of the labor is also Y. The rate of labor per hour is Y. All right. The rate is not given per hour, but the time taken is given. The total wages are time taken into rate. Rate is not given. We have to find out the rate. So the wages for A would be 30 hours he has taken into rate, which is not mentioned. So 30 into Y will be the wages. So 30 Y will be the wages for A. For B, what it would be? How much is the time taken? 40. So 40 into rate, we don't know. So it's 40 Y. All right. So the basic wages is 30 Y and 40 Y for A and B respectively. 30 hours taken by A and 40 hours taken by Y. Now the premium bonus. Bonus we have to calculate. A is following Rowan plan and B is following Halsey plan. All right. So Rowan says time saved by time allowed. Time saved in case of A, how much is time saved? Time allowed is 50 hours and A has taken 30 hours. So time saved is 20 hours. Time saved by time allowed. How much is time allowed? 50. In case of A, we are following Rowan plan. Into the time taken into rate per hour, which is 30Y. All right. So we need to solve this. It will be 12Y in the case of A. This is to be done. I hope you have understood. So bonus is as per the Rowan plan if we talk about A. So 20 is the time saved. Rowan plan says time saved by time allowed. So time saved is 20 and time allowed is 50 into 30Y. So they say time saved by time allowed into time taken into rate per hour. So we don't know the rate per hour as of now. We have assumed it as Y. The material cost we have assumed as X for both the workers because they are using the same material. All right. Now bonus for B. How we are going to calculate the bonus for B? That is has to be from the Halsey plan. Halsey plan says 50% of time saved. How much is the time saved in case of B? 50 hours is time allowed and B has taken 40 hours. So that means 10 hours. So 50% into 10 hours into the rate per hour. Rate per hour we don't know. So rate per hour is Y. Clear? So that means 5Y. So this is the equation we have made for the labor. 30Y is the basic wages for A, 40Y is the basic wages for B, 12Y is the bonus for A under Rowan plan, and 5Y is the bonus for B under Halsey plan. All right. 50% of time saved into rate per hour. Rate per hour we don't know. So that it comes to 5Y. 50% of 10 hours saved is 5 hours. All right. Because B has taken 40 hours. Now the factory overhead. The third proportion to have the factory cost is factory overhead. If we go back here, the factory overhead is 5 per man hour. 5 per man hour, if we calculate 5 per man hour means 5 is the rate, overhead rate per hour, which is given. So 5 per hour is the factory overhead into time taken. For in the case of A, the time taken is how much? 30. 30 is the time taken, so that makes out to 150. And in case of B, factory overhead 5 into the time taken is 40. So it will be 200. This makes the total factory cost, and we have got the factory cost 3490 and 3600. 3490 and 3600. So we have got the information. What all information is available, we have put it in the statement of factory cost. So again, let me just brush up the whole concept. Factory cost means material, labor, and factory overhead, because it's factory cost, so factory overhead. Material, labor, and factory overheads. Material was not given in the question, but they are using the same material, so we can assume the material as X. So X material for both the employees and the workers. The basic wage 30Y and 40Y, simple time taken into rate per hour. Rate per hour is not given, we have assumed as Y. The bonus as per Rowan plan, A is following the Rowan and B is following the Halsey. So accordingly, we have calculated the bonus 12Y for A and 5Y for B. Factory overheads, the rate per hour of overhead was given and time taken we know. So 5 into 30 and 5 into 40, that will be the factory overhead, and factory cost we know. So we'll make them in the form of an equation. So two equations we can find out. Material is X, if you can see. So the first equation is X plus, this we can add, 42Y plus 150 is equal to 3490. Similarly for X, for B, this is first equation, X plus 45Y plus 200 is equal to 3600. All right. So this is the equation. I hope you know how to solve the equation. You just change the figures, those who don't know. Now please solve it. Just solve the equation, all of you. Let me see who finds the answer. You will find the rate per hour. You will find the Y in this equation. So just calculate and calculate the value of Y quickly. Let me see who can solve it. Calculate the value of Y. I've made the equation for you. I've changed the signs for you. I've just given a hint. Now solve it. Let me see who can solve it. Very good. Many students have solved the earlier question. Okay. All right. One student has a doubt in the Rowan plan. All right. I'll just explain the Rowan again. See, the Rowan plan says the time taken into rate per hour is the main basic wages. The bonus says time saved divided by time allowed. All right. Time saved divided by time allowed into time taken into rate per hour. Clear? So that is exactly the how we calculate the Rowan plan. And here also we have done the same. Whosoever has this doubt, time saved is 20. Time allowed was 50. So Rowan says the bonus plan is time saved by time allowed. Mr. A, the worker, has saved 20 hours. So 20 divided by 50 into time taken into rate per hour. Time taken is 30 and rate per hour we don't know. So we have assumed it as Y. So 20 divided by 50 into 30Y. So that is the bonus as per the Rowan plan. Clear? And when you solve it, it will come out to be 12Y. I hope you know how to solve it. And yes, this is the equation. So, and yes, some of the students have calculated Y is 20. Very great. So Y is 20. Now 50. Priyanka, this is a 53.33 supposedly is the wrong answer. You just need to calculate here. So it will come out to, 110. You should know how to calculate this. Okay. So this is, I have further, compiled this equation, and this way you will find out that Y is equal to 20. So once Y is 20, you have to just place the figures again. Clear? Now Y has come to 20. Y means the rate per hour is 20. Rate per hour is 20. Anybody who has not understood this rate per hour? It's not 50. Y has to be 20. I've solved the equation further. You just have to solve it a little bit. You just take it over there. If I can further do it, minus 3Y equal to minus 160. Just do it. There's some. Okay, so the rate per hour comes out to be 20. I hope now students have understood. Anybody who has not understood? All right, yes, Y is 20. So now we will place the figures of 20. Y has come out to 20. Now let us calculate the factory cost. I'm placing the figure in the format only again. Material we don't know. Labor is 30Y. Now we know Y. Y is 20. So the labor comes out to 600. All right. The labor comes out to 600 now. And here also Y is 20. So bonus will come out to 240. 150 we already have. So 3490 we have. Can you calculate the material cost X? Now everything is being placed. This is how you have to do. Y has come out to 20. The rate per hour of labor is 20. So the labor basic wages will be 600, the bonus 12Y. So Y is 20, it will be 240. Factory overheads we already had. Factory cost we already had. What is the material? Material will be the balancing figure. 3490, work backwards. 3490 minus 150 minus 240 minus 600, it will come out to 2500. So X will be 2500, the material cost. Similarly, solve it for B. Solve it for B. The labor cost for B, it is 20 per hour. So what is the labor cost for B? It will be 800. What will be the bonus for B? It will be 100. 200 is already there. And 3600 also we know. So 3600 we know. 200 we already know. 100 we have calculated. Y was 20 per hour. Y was 20 per hour. So wages 800, bonus 100, factory overheads we already knew 200, 3600 is the total. Work backwards and calculate X. Can you have the X for B? Can I have the X for B? Okay, Priyanka. Now I hope you must have got the answer. Yes, X is 2500. Here also it will be 2500. For both the workers, X comes out to 2500. Same. Why? Because both the workers use the same material. All right. That is why the answer for both has to be same, because they use the same material and we assumed X for both. All right. So this is the whole solution for the question. So just quickly brush up this question. Factory cost, whenever you will be asked to calculate factory cost, it will be material, labor and factory overheads. Material was not given, so we assumed X. Labor, normal rate per hour was not given. The wages per hour was not given. We assumed to be Y. And with Y, we actually just framed the equation for basic wages also, for bonus also. Factory wages was given to us. Factory overheads was given to us. We framed the equation like this and we found out the rate per hour. Once we found out the rate per hour, we placed this rate in the equation again, in the format again, and we managed to calculate X also 2500. So this is the completed format of the factory cost. I hope you have understood. Any doubts in this question, students? Anybody has any doubt in this question? What is 800? Who have calculated? Jyoti, what, Dinesh, what is 800? Jyoti, it's 2580 is which amount? No, it's 2500. I think we have made some calculation mistake, Jyoti. Just calculate it again. Material has to be the same for both the workers because they're using the same material. All right. Yes, 2500 same in both. Yes, no doubt. All right. Anybody, shall we move forward? So I'll just show you the basically the format, proper format. So this is the way it is to be done. We have done it. So just again, you can see the proper solution. So we assumed it to be X. Okay. We assumed it to be X because it was not given, and Y will be the normal wages per hour. So this equation, we actually made it for X. So they have deducted this and then they have taken this. We have taken 3.90. So this was the equation for worker A. This was the equation for worker B. Similarly, material cost X, worker B followed the Halsey plan. And then the bonus. And then the overheads and the factory cost. So we have done this, and this is the final comparative statement of the factory cost. Material cost came out to 2500, 600, 800, 240, 100. This was already given. So this was the proper formatted question. This 20 was the labor per hour. So we are moving forward to the next question. Just look at the next question. I hope everybody has calculated this. Yes. Okay, wages was 800. Danish, okay, I got it. You calculated wages for B to be 800. Yes, wages for B, only the wages, not the bonus. Okay, so this is again a question. Take note of this question. A skilled worker in XYZ Limited is paid a guarantee wage rate of 30 per hour. The standard time per unit, standard time is time allowed, all right? Standard time is time allowed. For a particular product is 4 hours. Mr. P, a machine man, has been paid wages under the Rowan incentive plan. And he had earned an effective hourly rate. Effective hourly rate. Effective hourly rate means the final cost divided by the number of hours. All right. Effective hourly rate of 37.5 on the manufacture of that particular product. So effective hourly rate means wages plus bonus. So the total incentive which you got, wages plus bonus, whatever is the total amount which the worker is getting divided by the number of hours. So that will calculate the effective hourly rate. What could have been his total earnings and effective hourly rate had he been put on Health incentive scheme? So they have given the information under the Rowan scheme, and on the basis of that information, we have to calculate the effective hourly rate and total earnings under the Health incentive scheme. Clear? But first, let us say if all the information is there, the rate per hour is there, the time allowed is there, the time taken is not there. So time taken is missing in this question. Unless we have the time taken, we cannot calculate the full wages and bonus for Health. So for Health, we have to know the time taken also. So what exactly we need? Whenever we calculate the wages and incentives, what exactly we need? We need the time taken, we need the time allowed, and we need the rate per hour. So these three things are very important. Then only we can calculate the wages and incentives. We have the time allowed, we have the rate per hour, but the third essential element, the time taken, is not there. So then we have to basically, let us see, we'll be working out. 37.5 is the effective hourly rate which they have given. Hourly rate is given. So 37.5 is the rate per hour. Effective rate per hour is given under the Rowan scheme. Clear? So now how we are going to do? All right, so I'm moving. Let us just try to solve it, this question. So under the Rowan plan, we have been given the information under the Rowan plan first. So they are saying the effective hour per rate under the Rowan was 37.5 per hour. All right, it's per hour. So the total earnings would be 37.5 per hour into time taken, and time taken is not there. So let us assume the time taken to be T. All right. So let's assume the time taken to be T. We are using the nomenclature ST. So 37.5 time T. T means time taken. So time taken into rate per hour would have been the total earnings. We don't know the time taken is equal to. Now, as per the Rowan plan, what will be the total earnings? The hours taken, let me see the question again. 30 per hour is the basic wage rate. 30 per hour is the basic wage rate. So 30 per hour is the wage rate into time taken. We don't know the time taken. Clear? Plus, now the bonus starts under the Rowan plan. Under the Rowan plan, the bonus states time saved by time allowed. Time saved by time allowed. Now, time saved is what? Time saved is time allowed minus time taken. Clear? So time allowed, we know time allowed is 4. If you can see here, time allowed is 4 hours. Standard time is 4 hours. So time allowed is 4 hours minus time allowed minus time taken. We don't know time taken. So time allowed minus time taken will be time saved. Clear? Divided by time allowed. This is how the Rowan scheme says. Time saved by time allowed. Time saved means time allowed minus time taken. We don't know time taken, so how we can calculate time saved? So we have taken time allowed minus time taken will come out to be time saved divided by time allowed into time taken into rate per hour. Clear? So this is the equation is going to be made. Again, I'm saying 37.5 was the effective hour rate. That means the final rate per hour by totaling the wages and the bonus both. So whatever the final amount we are getting, the worker is getting 37.5 per hour into time taken will be the total earnings as per row 1 is equal to the breakup now 30 per hour as per the basic wage rate into time taken, again we don't know, plus under row 1 plan time saved. So time saved, how you calculate time saved? Time allowed minus time taken. Time allowed we know, we don't know the time taken, so we cannot calculate time saved here. Divided by 4, it's a time allowed, into time taken into rate per hour. So time taken we don't know, rate per hour we know. So if we divide the both sides by T here, so it will be cut here and 4 7.5. Okay, so this is I've solved the equation also for you. Here, so this is how it goes. 37.5 T equal to 30 into T plus 4 minus T divided by 4 into 30 T. So I've just divided both the sides by T. This is how you solve the mathematical equation. And ultimately it comes out to 37.5 is equal to 30 plus 4 minus T into 7.5. So just calculate, this is T. Just calculate the time taken here. Just calculate the time taken here. Can anybody calculate T? If solve the equation, can anybody calculate T? Let me also calculate for you. You can further solve it. 37.5 is equal to 30 plus, first solve this part. So it will be again 30 minus 7.5 T. Just solve the value of T. Anybody is all right. So T, I've got the answers. Couple of students have calculated the answer. T comes out to 3. All right. Let me see if others also could calculate so we can confirm the answer. What is T? What is the time taken? How much is the time taken? Come on. Solve the equation. The more you will solve it yourself, you will get to understand it better. All right. Most of the students have T is 8. No, Bala Vinodini. Beta, this answer is wrong. You calculate it again. T should, most of the students have calculated 3. So shall I take T as 3, the time taken as 3? If we have solved the question to much extent, so you can calculate the equation and T comes to, so T actually comes out to 3. Clear? So if T comes out to 3, so I'm taking T as 3. That means the time taken as 3. So we can calculate the time taken as 3. Now, since you got the 3, then now you can calculate the Halsey plan. All right. So if we go back here again, since we now know T is 3, now we know T as 3. Now please calculate the equation under Halsey scheme and calculate the total earnings under Halsey scheme. We can calculate it here only since now we know. So what Halsey says under Halsey plan, what it says in the Halsey plan, time taken into rate per hour. So 30, time taken into rate per hour, time taken we have calculated as 3. So now we are calculating for Halsey incentives. Since as per Rohan, we have calculated the time taken as 3. Now we'll be calculating the total earnings for Halsey method. So rate per hour into time taken plus 50% of time saved. The time allowed was 4 hours. The time taken is 3 hours. So the time saved is 1 hour. The Halsey premium, the time taken 50% into 1 hour into rate per hour is 30. Into rate per hour is 30. This is the basic wage 90 plus. It will get half of the time saved premium. So half of the time saved premium is 50 into 30. Clear? So 90 plus 15, it will be 105. So the Halsey premium, the rate comes out to 105. If we move to this again, All right. So this is the total Health earnings. Now, how to calculate effective rate per hour divided by the hours taken. So how much are the hours taken? Just solve it. Just hold for a while. Just solve the equation under Health premium and calculate the total and the rate per hour. All right. So I hope this you have understood. Under Health Aid, 3 was a time taken. So 30 into 3 plus 50% of time saved. So 50% of time saved was half day. All right. 1 day he saved. So half day premium he will get for the bonus and 30 per hour. So 90 was the basic wage and this is the bonus. Here. So 90 plus 15 comes out to 105. The total earnings is 105 divided by 3. That means the time taken. So the rate per hour comes to the effective hourly rate for Health. Can anybody has calculated effective hours per rate for Health? Calculated the effective rate per hour for Health? Anybody has calculated? Okay, 30. It comes out to 105 divided by 3. It comes out to 35. Here. So for Health premium, the total earnings were 105 and the effective hourly rate comes out to 35. So I hope you have understood this. Under Rowan plan, the effective rate was 37.5. So the effective rate, see, 30 per hour was the normal wage rate per hour. Effective hourly rate means the total earnings which the worker is earning, the total earnings, basic plus bonus. The total earnings then divided by the time taken, the total time taken by that worker will be calculated the effective hourly rate. So effective hourly rate means total earnings of the worker, total earnings. 30 is only the wage rate per hour, all right, is the wage rate hourly earnings, but total earnings divided by time taken. Clear? This is how you're calculating the effective hourly rate. Total earnings means basic wage plus bonus. Total earnings means everything which the worker is getting, total monetary payment divided by the time taken. So this will give you the effective hourly rate. So I hope you have understood. Any doubt in this question, students? Total earnings have taken instead of total labor hour rate, because in this question there is no other labor cost, there is no employee contribution fund and everything, all right, and this is the earnings to the worker, effective hourly rate to the worker. Whenever you will be calculating the labor cost for costing purposes, then we'll be adding every other thing, but here we are just calculating the earnings of the worker. What is the effective hourly rate which the worker has earned? All right. So the total earnings which the worker has taken divided by the time taken. All right. When we calculate the labor cost, then the situation is totally different. Then we have all the components, whatever the organization bears the cost for the worker. So both things are different. All right. So this is the hourly rate for the earnings which the worker has earned because of the wages and the bonus. So shall we move forward? Rowan total earnings 112.5. Okay. Rowan in effective hourly rate is given to us. So here we have to calculate the Health otherwise. All right. So I think you must have understood this question. Any doubt in this question? Shall we move forward? All right. So let's understand the next topic, which is absorption of wages. See, normally what happens is the worker gets mostly the monetary payments. All right. So the whatever we are going to do for the worker, or whatever is given to the employee, is a mix of both monetary and non-monetary. Non-monetary means facilities in kind. So whatever facilities in kind is given to the worker, that also carries a cost. The facilities are in kind, they are non-monetary, but those facilities also carry a cost for the organization. Clear? So those non-monetary costs or in kind, we have to calculate the value, and for the organization also, that should be part of CTC, the cost to the company. All right. So what wages should be absorbed? See, the direct wages, what the worker is directly earning, they are not absorbed. But all the indirect and in-kind and non-monetary wages are generally absorbed to every worker. All right. And that carries a cost also. So from the point of view of the employer and the cost to the industry, now we are thinking from the point of view of the employer. Till now, we were thinking from the point of view of employee. Now we have to think from the point of view of employer, the cost to the employer. So here we are from the earnings to the labor cost now. Wages should be taken to include all non-monetary benefits also, which an employee receives by virtue of employment. So such non-monetary benefits may include medical facilities, educational, training, recreational, sports facility, housing, social welfare, subsidized canteen, cooperative societies, there are club facilities, there are many recreation facilities. In some organizations, there are gym facility, there is daycare facility, there is creche facility, transport facility. So employees get whole lot of facilities also in an organization. So why we should only consider the monetary benefit which the worker is saying, which the worker is getting, the basic wages, the DNS allowance, whatever the overtime the worker is getting, whatever the bonus is the worker is getting. So why we should only calculate and focus on that. There are other facilities also that carry a cost, and all these facilities the organization is bearing the cost of it. So we have to consider this also. But yes, we have to absorb them in the wages because there is no direct connection between the worker performance and these facilities. The monetary benefits have a link that, okay, these facilities, these monetary benefits are given to this particular worker, but every employee is using these facilities, but there is no direct connection and direct measurement of these facilities with the performance of the worker. So they are proportionately, they are shared by each worker. That is the meaning of absorption. Absorption means that they will be apportioned, they will be shared between all the workers and the employees. All right. That is the meaning of absorption. Therefore, while computing the wage cost per worker, wage cost, we are not talking about earnings now. We are thinking from the point of view of the organization. Whether this wage cost, it's not necessary that this wage cost, the total amount of this cost will be given to the worker. Whatever is given to the worker will be called as earnings to the worker. But this wage cost, when we calculate the labor cost per hour, we actually calculate from the point of view of the organization. We calculate for costing purposes. This wage cost per hour is not calculated to give to the worker the monetary benefit. Clear? So this is calculated for the costing purpose. What is the cost per hour the organization is bearing for every worker? All right. It has no link with the earnings which are given to the worker. Earnings, what we give to the worker, are totally different calculation. This is what is the labor cost, employee cost per hour that the organization is bearing. Clear? So this is only for the costing purpose, not for the payment purpose to the worker. This you have to keep in mind. Only then you will understand the numericals which follows. Clear? The monetary value of such non-monetary benefits should also be taken into account. So whenever we calculate the labor cost for the organization, we calculate the monetary and the non-monetary. So monetary, of course, we have the value with us. For non-monetary, we calculate the value for non-monetary, and both are combined to calculate the labor cost per hour. Clear? So the monetary part, as most of you, we have already discussed in questions, the basic wages, the DNS allowance. DNS allowance is given to every worker. It's part of a statutory compliance. See, the inflation is going on every time. The rates of the groceries and the cost of living increases. So to compensate, to counter the increase in the cost of living, DNS allowance is given to the worker. DNS means something which becomes costly. This is very dear. Dear means this has become costly. So DNS allowance means we compensate for the increasing cost of living, the inflation effect and everything. To the worker, we give the DNS allowance. Again, it's a monetary benefit. Overtime wages, again, it is the monetary benefit. Special allowances. So there are so many allowances which the worker gets. House rent allowance, conveyance allowance, transport allowance, hostel allowance, education allowance. So there are many allowances which are given to the workers or the employees. They are monetary only. Clear? Production bonus. So production bonus is whenever the worker produces more than the standard output. Let us say the standard output is 10 units in a day, and the worker is producing 50 units in a day. So if the worker is contributing to the production in excess of the standard units, which he's supposed to produce, so he should produce 10, but he's actually producing 50 units. 15. So it's producing 5 units extra. So for that, sometimes the organization gives the production bonus also. So if you are producing more than the output, more than the standard output, the same way, like we get the bonus for under healthy and premium, we get the worker gets the bonus for producing in extra also, right? Extra production. So basically for more efficiency, if he's more efficient in production, then you will get the production bonus. Employers' contribution to the provident fund, again, it's a monetary benefit. Employees' state insurance premium, contribution to pension fund, holiday, leave pay, idle time. So holiday, leave pay, idle time, the worker, the employee is not working, but still they are getting the monetary benefit. Clear? So holidays are all, if they are with pay. On a holiday, you are getting the pay. On leave, you are getting the pay. Idle time, you are not producing anything. You are not working, but still you are paid. So all these are monetary benefits which the worker gets. And non-monetary, we have just understood. These are non-monetary: medical, education, recreational, hostel, gym, transport facility, club facility, subsidized canteen, or whatever lunch or breakfast you get. And some organizations, they give coupon for lunch or breakfast or coffee or tea or snacks. So these are all the basically non-monetary benefits which the worker gets, but it carries a cost for the organization. The worker is getting for free, but it carries a cost for the organization. All right. So this is basically the illustration where the wage rate per hour for the organization we have to calculate. Here you don't have to calculate the earnings which are available to the worker. We have to think from organization point of view. We have to calculate the labor cost per hour, the effective labor cost per hour, effective. All right. Effective labor cost per hour, which bears to the organization. Yeah. So just try this question. Take a note of this question. Just take a note of this question. Try to understand. A worker is paid 10,000 per month and a DNS allowance of 2,000 per month. Clear? Workers' contribution to Provident Fund is 10%. So 10,000. Let me just explain it. Okay. So 10,000 is called as basic, you can say, and DNS allowance is 2,000 per month. Worker contribution to Provident Fund is 10%, and employer also contributes the same. All right. So in the labor cost, which contribution you will take? Employee or employer? You have to tell me. All right. Now employees, ESI also contribution is there. Premium of 6.5 wages of which 1.75% is paid by employees. It is the firm's practice to pay 2 months' wages as bonus each year. So this first 2 paragraphs gives us the cost, and the last paragraph gives us the time. So the working days, number of working days are 300 of 8 hours each. Out of this, the worker is entitled to 15 days leave on full pay. See, 15 days leave on full pay is a monetary benefit. Calculate the wage rate per hour for costing purpose. This does not mean that whatever will be calculating, it will be paid to the worker. The earnings to the worker are different and the labor cost to the organization is different. Here you have to calculate the labor cost per hour for the organization. Clear? So how you will calculate the basic? If I do it over here only, 10,000 into 12. So the basic comes out to 1,20,000. This is the basic. DA 2,000 per month. So 2,000 into 12. 24,000 is the DA. Yeah. So the basic, the worker will be, the labor cost, the basic will be 1,20,000 for this worker. DA is 24,000 for this worker. Worker contribution to Provident Fund is 10% and employer contribution to the Provident Fund is also 10%. It's the same. Yeah. So employer and employee contribution is 10%. Can you calculate the PF contribution? Which will be taken? Will be taking 20% or 10%? Employer contribution we will take or employee contribution will take or both contribution will be take? Please answer me. Here, now we have to take the Provident Fund contribution. We will be taking the employee contribution or the employer contribution or both. Let me see who gives me this answer. Okay, Partha is in Health. 50% of 1 hour we have to multiply time saved and rate per hour of 50% of hour first. Partha, you have to do the 50% of hour first. 50% of time saved. First you do 50% of time saved. Then multiply by rate per hour. Partha, this is for you. You have to do 50% of time saved first. And then when you do 50% of time saved, then you multiply it with the rate per hour. Clear? So if the worker has saved 1 hour, first do 50% of that 1 hour. That means half a day. All right. So 1 hour means half an hour. So half an hour into rate per hour. So first you do 50% of time saved, then multiply by rate per hour. So Partha, I hope you have understood this. Yes, Danesh, direct wages are always allocated and indirect wages or non-monetary are absorbed. Yeah, they're mostly absorbed. If we talk about direct workers, they are also generally absorbed. Otherwise, non-monetary benefits, most of the time we can take as overheads also. Yeah, but if we have to take in direct wages, then also we apportion it on some basis. Employer, all right, good. So yes, very good. Yes. So again, I'm saying when you calculate the earnings, then you deduct employee contribution. But when you calculate the labor cost, then you add the employer contribution. See, we are calculating the cost which the employer bears. So employer contribution you have to add when you calculate labor cost. Repeating. When you calculate labor cost, we add employer contribution. We don't take employee contribution in calculating labor cost. We take employer contribution because what employer is contributing, that is the cost, the additional cost to the employer. See, first employer is giving you wages. Employer is giving you DA also, and employer is contributing for your provident fund. So it's an extra cost for the employer. So in labor cost, whenever you calculate, you always take employer contribution, not employee. Okay. Employee we take in the earnings available for the employees, not in the labor cost. So here you add employer contribution to PF. It is 10%. Employer and employee both are 10%. So 10% of 1,44,000. The total is 144,000. So if nothing is mentioned, you should always calculate the contribution on basic plus DA. Clear? Basic plus DA is a fundamental element of the cost where all the contribution gets basically added. So employer contribution PF, if nothing is mentioned in the question, you should calculate on the total of basic plus DA. That comes out to 144,000. So employer contribution has to be 14,400. 10% of basic plus DA will be the employer contribution. Now come to be ESI, employer contribution towards ESI again. Employer contribution towards ESI. Can you calculate the ESI contribution of employer? The employee's SI contribution is 6.5 wages, of which this is employer. The employee state, okay. The employee state insurance corporation premium is 6.5. Now ESI also, both contribute. Employer also contributes and employee also contributes. So in the employee state insurance, and everything goes for the employees, but both of them contribute. So the total ESI contribution for the employee is 6.5%. It's the total. Out of 6.5%, 1.7.5% is paid by the employee. So can you calculate the ESI contribution of the employer? Can you give me the amount of ESI contribution to the employer? Again, I'm saying we are calculating labor cost. So we have to take into account only employer contribution towards PF and ESI. Only employer contribution. PF employer contribution we have taken. ESI employer contribution, please give me the amount. ESI contribution of the employer. Please give me the ESI contribution of the employer. I'll also calculate. You also calculate. Let me see who calculates it. Okay. Can anybody give me the ESI contribution of employer? We'll be calculating the bonus, Danish, don't worry. Pranav, you have calculated it wrong. Jyoti, you have calculated it wrong. Be very, very careful. See here, read the question properly. The Employee State Insurance Corporation total contribution is 6.5% total. That means it includes employer also and employee also. Employer also and employee also. So how much is employer and how much is employee? They have given 1.75% is contributed by employee. That means the balance is given by the employer. So 6.5 minus 1.75 comes out to 4.75%. So ESI contribution is 4.75%. PF was 10%. Be very careful. Many students make this mistake in ESI contribution in this question. ESI contribution, the total is 6.5%. Out of this, 1.75% was contributed by employee. That means 4.75 must have been contributed by employer. This you have to be very careful. Clear? So now if you will correct it, those who have corrected it wrong, yes. Now it's 6840. So I hope those who have calculated Pranav and Jyoti, you please recalculate it. It should be 4.75%. So 4.75% should be the ESI. So 4.75 on 1,44,000. Again, ESI contribution, if nothing is mentioned, you should calculate on basic plus DA. Basic plus DA together. All right. So it will come out to, okay, students have calculated 6840. So I'm taking it as 6840. ESI contribution 6840. Anything else in the question? Yes, bonus. 2 months wages as bonus. 2 months wages as bonus. Again, if nothing is mentioned, take it as basic and DA both. 2 months wages as bonus. Take basic and DA both. So 2 months per 10,000 per month basic and 2,000 per month DA. So per month is 12,000. Per month wages basic plus DA is 12,000. 12,000 into 2. So bonus comes out to 24,000. 24,000 is the bonus. How we have taken? basic plus DA. So basic plus DA per month is 12,000. 10,000 basic and 2,000 per month is DA. So 12,000 per month basic plus DA, and the employer is giving 2 month wages as bonus. So 24,000 will be the bonus. So can I know the total emoluments? There is nothing else. Total cost we have calculated. Total cost we have calculated. We have taken basic, we have taken DA, we have taken employer contribution to PF, we have taken employer contribution to ESI, and we have taken bonus to the employee, 2 month bonus. So the total cost, can I have the total cost, please? Anybody who has calculated the total cost? 144,000 plus 14,400 plus 6840 plus 24,000. Can I have the total cost, please? Can I have the total cost? Anybody? Total cost. Okay, very good. 18294. So the total cost is coming out to 189,240. 189,240 is the total cost. Now we have to calculate how we will calculate the wage rate per hour. Total cost divided by effective hours. Effective hours. All right. So effective hours. Now let us say the last paragraph. 300 normal working days, 15 days leave. That means the effective days are 285. The effective days are 285. The effective days are 285 working days. We have to take effective hours. All right. 300 were the total working hours minus 15 days. The normal idle time, you can say. Here it's a leave. So a full day leave, it's a paid leave. You should always deduct the whatever the paid leave is there, and the rest of the working days will cover the cost. The rest of the working days will cover the cost. Out of 300 working days, 15 days were non-productive. So only the productive working hours where the workers actually come, they will cover the total cost. So effective are 285 days into 8 hours each. 8 hours per day. So how many are the total effective hours? I'm saying 285. 285 are the number of working effective days when the workers come to the organization, excluding the holidays, into 8 hours per day. So 285 into 8 hours, 2280. The total effective hours are 2280. So 189,240, the total cost divided by effective hours. We don't have to take 300 into 8. We have to take 285 into 8. So 2280 are the effective hours. So total cost divided by total effective hours will give you wage rate per hour. Clear? If anybody can calculate, it should be 83 per hour. 83 per hour. Anybody who has calculated? Yes. 83 per wage rate. 83 wage rate per hour. I hope you have understood. So we have calculated the total cost and divided by the total effective hours. So total cost is one working note and the second should be the hours. So 285 effective days into 8 hours per day. So total hours are 2280. So total cost divided by total hours will give you the answer 83 per hour. So here we'll be taking a break of 5-7 minutes. Clear? I hope you've understood this. I'll just leave you with the solution also in a proper format so that you can understand. You can check your answer. We'll meet after 5-7 minutes. Okay. All right, students, welcome back. I hope you've got this question correct. Now, let me see if any queries we have. Sunil is asking, while computing earnings, then PF of both the employee and employer. No, Sunil, I hope you have attended the last session of employee cost. I have explained many times in that session and here also, whenever we calculate earnings of the employee, their employee contribution will be deducted. All right. Let me just mention it again. See, earnings. Now I'm explaining it again so that those who still don't understand, because this is very important. So one thing is we calculate earnings of the employee. Clear? And this is labor cost is for the organization, for the employer. So labor cost we calculate for employer and earnings we calculate for employee. So earnings when we calculate is basic plus DA. Whatever the employee is getting, let us say bonus also. Clear? So basic, DA and bonus. All the three things will be added less. Employee contribution. Employee contribution. Here we deduct employee contribution of PF or ESI. Clear? Employee contribution will be deducting, and whatever is the balance is paid to the employee. Clear? So earnings of the employees, we add all the emoluments we are giving to the employee, whatever we are giving, less we deduct the employee contribution towards PF and ESI, and the net amount we pay to the employee, net amount. All right. So the gross wages less the deductions, and employee deduction, whatever employee wishes to contribute towards the PF and ESI will be deducting, and the net amount will be paid to the employee. So this is how we calculate the earnings. So in earnings, we take employee contribution and we deduct it. But when we calculate the labor cost, basic we'll be adding, then DA will be adding, and bonus will be adding. And we'll be adding employer contribution to PF. We'll be adding employer contribution to ESI, because we are calculating the cost to the employer. Apart from this also, the employer is over and above this, employer is contributing PF and ASI also. So the total is the total cost to the employer. Clear? So that's the difference between the two. Whenever we calculate the earnings, we have to calculate the net amount we have to pay to the employee. But when we calculate the labor cost, we have to find out what the employer is bearing for that employee. What all cost the employer is carrying for the employee. So the employer contribution we take here and we add it. Because employer contribution towards PF and ESI is also a cost of the employer for the employee. Clear? So I hope now all of you have understood, especially Sunil. Sunil, I hope you have understood now. Clear? So in earnings, we deduct employee contribution, and in calculating labor cost, we add employer contribution, because this is the total cost for the employer. All right. So I hope this is clear to you. You can take a note or a picture of this, so that it's going to help you. All right. So shall I move to the main screen? Okay. So this we were doing, and now we are moving to the labor turnover. So we have done the bonuses, we have done the monetary and non-monetary. Now labor turnover. Now what is labor turnover? Turnover means the composition of workers is changing. Many are joining, many are leaving, many are rejoining, and so many are retiring. So every day or every month or every week, the labor composition changes. So employee turnover or labor turnover in the organization is the rate of change in the composition. Composition means, 1 minute. Yeah. Composition means new laborers are joining and leaving the organization, the composition changes. During a specified period measured against a suitable index. So we always have that index, the standard, and against that we actually measure. And then we came to know that, okay, last year 100 were there, now there are 80 employees. That means as comparison to last year, why the number of employees have decreased. So we always compare with a suitable index. So replacement method basically gives us the information how many employees are being replaced. Replaced means if one employee has left, so in his place there will be a vacancy. So a new person will be joining to fill that vacancy. So when the new recruitment, new joining is to fill the vacancy of the earlier one, that is called replacement. Clear? So let us say one manager has left. So Mr. A, the manager, has left. In place of Mr. A, Mr. B has joined the organization and filled that vacancy. That is a replacement. And for example, now the organization feels that there should be two managers. So Mr. C was also recruited. That means Mr. B was the replacement for Mr. A, but Mr. C was not the replacement. Mr. C was the new joinee. All right. So Mr. B and Mr. C both have joined the organization, but Mr. B was replaced by, in the place of Mr. A, and Mr. C has newly joined due to, let us say, expansion or anything. All right. So replacement means a new vacancy was filled by a new employee, but a vacancy was filled, not a new post was filled. All right. So number of employees replaced during the period, average number of employees during the period on roll. So average number means opening plus closing divided by 2. That is simple average into 100. New employees appointed on account of expansion plan are not included in the number of replacements. So I hope you understood. Now, when the new employees are joining, that is not a replacement, but a vacancy is filled by a new employee, that is a replacement. Clear? So I just give the example of Mr. B and Mr. C. Mr. B was a replacement. Mr. C was a new joinee on a new position, but Mr. B was a new joinee on a already old position which was vacated. Clear? I hope this is clear. Okay, Sunil, I'm glad that you understood the earnings and cost also. So separation method is measured by total number of employees separated. Separated means left. The employees which leave the organization, the employees who have left the organization. All right. So number of employees separated, that means number of employees who left the organization divided by average number. So average, again we calculate opening by plus closing divided by 2, simple average. So the opening number of employees, the opening means the employees which we had in the beginning of the year plus the employees which we have at the end of the year divided by 2, simple average. Yeah? And number of employees separated during the period divided by average into 100. So that is the number of percent of separations which leaves the organization. Then the flux method. Flux method means replacements as well as separations. So number of separations and number of replacements. But generally in the flux method, we should include both separated plus replaced plus new joinees. All right. So all the three should be there. So replacements plus new joinees we call as accessions. All right, which will just there in the next slide. So flux method means the total number of employees separated, that means who have left, plus who have replaced divided by average number. So this is the one way to calculate flux method, where we take only separations and replacements. In the another method, the second method, we take as separations, replacements, and new joinees. Clear? New joinees and total number of workers joining, including replacements, is called as accessions. So in this method, these two are called as accessions. So when we take only replacement, so there's a one method we take only separation and replacement. When we take separation, replacement, and new joinees also, that means a total accessions. Separations plus accessions, then this is the second method which should be followed, which should be normally followed. So number of separations plus number of replacements plus number of new joinees divided by average number of employees during that period into 100. That is the flux method. All right. So all the three methods, quickly you can see. Number of replacements divided by average number of employees, number of separations divided by average number of employees, and number of separations plus replacements, or separations plus replacements plus new joinees, which are accessions, divided by. So any doubts so far? I hope you have understood this. All right. Causes of labor turnover, we can just quickly discuss. Personal causes, unavoidable and avoidable causes. See, personal causes, let us say due to bad health, due to family problem, or I want to look for a better job. So personal causes, if you leave a job, the organization cannot help much because it's your personal matter. You want to leave the organization. Unavoidable causes, when the organization is saying that, okay, we don't have much work, there is recession outside, we don't have much orders, the production is already stopped. So when the organization asks the employer or the employee or the worker to leave, that is unavoidable. Again, that organization cannot help because it's the condition is such that the organization has asked the employee to leave. Avoidable causes. Avoidable means that the salary is not increasing, there is not much growth, there are no facilities, there is no transport facility for a female. Let us say the female says there is no daycare facility in the organization. So the management can actually look for avoidable causes to control labor turnover. Personal, the management cannot do much about it. Unavoidable causes, the management cannot do much about it. But the avoidable causes, why the employees are leaving the organization. So if the causes are the avoidable ones, here the management can control the labor turnover. Labor turnover means the employer, the organization can control the so much, shuffling of labor, why the employees are leaving. So if they really can look into it, they can minimize, they can control the labor turnover to much extent. They should give better facilities. They should give better, a pay increase, salary increase. They should build up a good environment. They should build up daycare facilities. They should give, build up recreation facilities. They should give medical facilities. So if more and more facilities will be given to the employees, less and less workers will leave the organization. So management can actually work on the avoidable causes. Not much the management can do in personal or unavoidable causes. All right. So causes of labor turnover, effect of labor turnover. See, many employees are leaving, every month or every, 2 months or 3 months. What happens is, so when an existing employee leaves, the employee who is already accustomed or familiar with the organization, if that employee will leave, so it will hamper, it will affect the production, it will affect the performance of the organization, because when a new employee you will recruit in place of that. So when a new person you will replace, that new person will take its own time. The new person, the efficiency of that new person will be very less initially. So during that period, you will lose on your sales, you will lose on your productivity. So, it carries a cost. The effect of labor turnover can be huge. And then when the new employees are coming, you have to give them training facilities. You have to, give them time to settle down. You cannot just expect them the very first day that they should start performing. The new employee will take his time to settle down in an organization, to start performing, to increase his efficiency. So during that time, again, the productivity will be affected. Clear? So effects of labor turnover, even flow of production will be disturbed. So the existing employees who was doing very good has left the organization. The new person has joined it. The new person is new to the system. He does not know how exactly the thing has to be done. So he will take his own time. So during that, again, the production flow will be disturbed. Efficiency of new worker will be low initially. All right. So increased cost of training. So then the new person has to be given the training again, how to do the work, how things have to be done. New workers cause increased breakage of tool, wastage of material. Now the new person will join in, the new person will start doing. He's not familiar. He's not, the practice is not there. So he will do wastage also. He will do losses also. He will, so efficiency will be very less during the initial time when a new person will join. Cost of recruitment and training, of course, the whole process of personnel department is a whole process of recruiting the new person. So there will be, trainings, there will be interviews, there will be everything. It carries a cost, and there's a time lag also. You cannot overnight, recruit a new person. It takes a time. It will take 10-15 days to bring a new person to the organization. So recruitment cost is also there. So cost of employee turnover, preventive cost and replacement cost. Preventive cost are, you should prevent actually the labor turnover. So preventive cost, you give medical facilities to the employees, you give recreational facilities to the employees, you increase their salary. So preventive cost will retain the employees. Clear? Replacement cost will be the cost incurred to bring a new employee. All right. So preventive cost is to retain the employee, the employees which are already there. To retain them, that they should not leave, you have to incur certain costs. So recreation, medical, transport, club facility, daycare facility, lunch facility, canteen facility, you have to give the facilities to the employees so that they should not leave. That is preventive cost. The replacement cost is to hire new employees, to hire new persons. Then the whole cost involves the recruitment cost, the selection cost, the training cost, the development cost, all those, the wastage of material. So that is the replacement cost. When the new person is hired, then what are the costs involved? So there are two main costs, preventive and replacement cost. All right. Okay, so this is an illustration for the labor turnover. Just take note of this question. Please take note of this question. Let me see if any doubt is there. Yes, Alok, plus method, basically, it depends upon the question. If the question asks, if nothing is mentioned, you should always take all the three: separations, replacements, and new joinees. If nothing is mentioned, you should always use the flux method, taking all the three: number of separations plus number of replacements plus number of new joinees. All right. That means separations plus accessions. Increase in labor turnover, increase the cost or not? Of course, increase in labor turnover increases the cost. What cost it will increase? It will, the profit has gone down, the replacement cost and preventive cost. So the increase in the labor turnover, the replacement cost will increase a lot. Of course, it will increase the cost. Discontent over job means there is no growth. You are in a managerial level for the last 10 years. There is no growth because your seniors are already there. They will get more growth, and the salary is not increasing. The promotion policies are not that employee friendly. So discontent means you are not happy with the job. Discontentment means you are not happy with the job. Maybe because your salary is not increasing, you're not getting the promotion, you're not getting the proper acknowledgement, the facilities are not good, the environment is not good, there is not good relationship between employer and the employee. So there could be many reasons why there's a discontentment in the job. All right. Labor turnover more. Yes, of course. If labor turnover is more, it is an unfavorable situation. See, let us say you're Dhanesh. Dhanesh, let us say you are in my organization, you are employed in my organization, and I have trained you. You are there for the last 10 years. You are doing it well. You are familiar with the system. You are contributing to the production, but somehow you are not getting promoted. So you left the job. Now a new person will come. That person is all new to the system. He does not know the system of the organization, how things have to be done. You had the experience of 10 years and you left the organization. The organization must have invested a lot in you. The organization must have given you a lot of training, lot of the skill you must have improved. And now a new person has come. The new person will take his own time to settle in the system. So of course the cost becomes high. Let us say you were contributing to the production 10,000 units in a week. And now you have left the organization. A new person has come and he is able to contribute only 4,000 units a week because he is new to the system. So of course the production has reduced. The cost of the organization has to increase. So it's very unfavorable. A lot of labor turnover if it's happening in an organization. All right. So I hope I'm able to solve your queries. PV ratio, Alok, PV ratio is the contribution. So we'll be doing it. PV ratio is the contribution. That means the surplus you are getting from your sales after you deduct the variable cost. All right. That is the PV ratio. So let us understand the question. The management of VR Limited is worried about their increasing labor turnover. So there is an increasing labor turnover. Before analyzing the causes and taking remedial steps, it wants to have an idea of the profit foregone as a result of the employee turnover in the last year. So this company wants to know what we actually the profit we lost. due to labor turnover in the last year. So this organization is feeling that lot of employee turnover is happening. That means many employees are leaving the organization. So why is it happening? So the management wants to know how much was the employee turnover in the last year, and because of that, how much profit we have lost. How much profit? Contribution, you can say, as a surplus or profit. So PV ratio is profit volume ratio. PV ratio is profit volume ratio. Profit volume ratio is PV ratio. It's also called as contribution. Contribution means sales minus variable cost. Sales minus variable cost. So whatever, so you can say contribution as surplus. So whatever contribution we have left, so PV ratio, profit volume ratio is called as the contribution. That means the surplus you get after you deduct the variable cost or the cost from the sales. So whatever surplus you are left with after you deduct the cost, that is your contribution or your profit. So the management wants to know how much profit we have lost, and the management says that last year's sales was this 83,03,300, profit volume ratio 20%. So you can say the profit percent. You can understand in a simple language, profit percent. Profit volume ratio you will be doing in the module of marginal costing. Profit volume ratio is a very important fundamental in a marginal costing. It means contribution, and in simple language, it means the profit percentage if you want to know in simplest terms. Otherwise, it's called the contribution. So you will understand it in detail in marginal costing unit. All right. When you will be doing the marginal costing, you will understand. So last year sales was this, and the profit percentage or contribution of last year was 20% on sales. The total number of actual hours worked by direct employee was 4,45,000. The actual direct employee included 30,000 hours to training new recruits, out of which half were unproductive. We'll be taking out the unproductive ones. So only unproductive means we should take the effective productive hours only, effective hours, excluding unproductive. Okay, we always exclude the unproductive hours and we always take the effective productive hours. So that means out of 4.45, 30,000 hours were for using training new recruits, and 30,000 out half of 30,000 were unproductive. So that means 15,000 were unproductive. Clear? So 4,30,000 hours, the actual productive hours. Clear? So 4,30,000 productive hours actually contributed to this sales. That is the meaning of this. So actual direct hours were 4,45,000. Out of 4,45,000, 15,000 hours. That means half of 30,000 were unproductive. That means 4,30,000 productive hours contributed to the sales of 83 lakh. I hope you've understood this. This is the interpretation. 4,30,000 productive hours contributed to the sales of 83 lakh last year. As a result of the delays by personnel department in filling vacancies due to employee turnover, 1 lakh potential productive hours, excluding the unproductive training hours, were lost. That means 1 lakh unproductive hours are excluding the, that means it's excluding 4,45,000. So 1 lakh hours were lost, simply lost. So total unproductive hours are 1 lakh, which are excluding 4,45,000 plus 15,000 hours which were unproductive, which is included in 4,45,000. So total unproductive hours are 1,15,000. I hope you have understood this. See, 4,45,000 were total hours for last year. Out of these, 15,000 were unproductive. So this is the 15,000 out of 4,45,000. And 1 lakh, there were additional 1 lakh productive hours which were lost, which actually came out to be unproductive. So they were lost. So last year, over and above, in addition to 4,45,000, 1 lakh productive hours were also lost. So 1 lakh plus 15,000 total unproductive were, and 1,15,000 total unproductive. Okay? The cost incurred Consequent on employee turnover. So these are the cost of employee turnover. See, settlement cost, recruitment cost, selection cost, training cost. So these, all the 4 costs are basically cost to an organization because of employee turnover. So what is the total cost? All these 4 costs plus profit lost. Plus profit lost. All right. So how we are going to calculate? See, 4,30,000 hours contributed to 83 lakh. So how much was the sales which we lost due to 1,15,000? So how we are going to calculate it? I'll just explain you here. All right. So 83,03,300 sales were out of 4,30,000 hours because 15,000 were unproductive. So what could be the sales for 1,15,000 hours? 83,03,300 sales were due to 4,30,000 productive hours. So how much will be the sales for 1,15,000 hours? See, we have to calculate the profit loss because of these unproductive hours. I'm repeating. We have to calculate the profit which we have lost due to this 1,15,000 unproductive hours. Clear? So for the profit loss, we need to know the sales. So if the total sales were 83 lakh, which were because of 4,30,000 hours, how much will be the sales for 1,15,000 hours? So just calculate 83,03,300 divided by 4,30,000 into 1,15,000. So the sales for 1,15,000 hours, which we lost, was 22,20,650. 22,20,650 is the sales which we lost. Now 20% was the profit. So 20% on this sales into 20%. So the profit we lost, that means the contribution, the profit we lost was 4,44,130 is the profit we lost last year due to unproductive hours of 1,15,000. I'm repeating, 83,03,300 was the sales which were due to 4,30,000 productive hours. So how much should be the sales which we lost due to 1,15,000 unproductive hours? How we have come with 1,15,000? 1 lakh hours were totally lost due to training, and 15,000 due out of 4,45,000, 15,000 were unproductive. So total unproductive was 115,000. So how much is the sales for 1,15,000? It came out to 22,20,650. So the profit, the PV ratio, the profit percentage was 20%. So we must have lost 4,44,130, the profit which we lost last year due to labor turnover. Clear? So 4,44,000. So 4,44,000. Okay, so this is how also we have done here. You can understand it. Right. So 4,44,130 was the profit we calculated. So this we lost plus this, plus this, plus this. So all these 4 costs also we have lost last year due to labor turnover. Clear? So I hope you've understood. Now let me just show you the statement also. So actual hours were 4,45,000. Unproductive training hours, we have to deduct 15,000. So the actual productive labor hours were 4,30,000. This contributed to the sales of 83,03,300. Clear? The productive hours contributed to the sales of 83,03,300 is given in the question. And total unproductive hours, 1 lakh. The productive hours we lost for training, and unproductive training hours, 15,000 out of this. So this is that 15,000. It has come here. So total unproductive hours are 1,15,000. So see, for 83,03,000 was the sales because of 4,30,000. So how much will be the sale for 1,15,000? So this is the sales which we lost due to labor turnover last year, due to unproductive hours. So the profit which we lost, the contribution which we lost for 1,15,000 hours were 20% of this sales which came out to this. So the total cost due to labor turnover, this we calculated, and this is given in the question. So this is the total cost we lost due to labor turnover. I hope you have understood this. No, nothing is given to you for confused. 1 lakh also are the unproductive hours. Yes, very good. So some of you have calculated the loss of contribution due to unproductive hours. Very good. Yes. So loss of profit is this, but the total cost which we lost were the total profit foregone. So the profit foregone which we have calculated due to loss of sales plus all that labor turnover cost. So these are the turnover cost. Settlement cost, recruitment cost, selection cost, training cost. So these are basically all the replacement cost. So replacement cost plus profit foregone is the total cost the organization suffered due to labor turnover. Students, I hope you've understood this question. Let me just show you the last look of this question. So this was the question the management wanted to ask. What profit we lost last year due to labor turnover? So last year, due to labor turnover, many unproductive hours were there. These unproductive hours could have contributed to the sales. So we have lost the sales, and consequently, we have lost 20% of the profit also due to labor turnover last year. So how much the profit and the cost we at the organization bear? So the total sales for last year was this. This could have been more. Since we have lost 1,15,000 of productive hours, 15,000 due to unproductive labor hours and 1 lakh due to the unproductive training hours. So the total hours we lost were 1,15,000, and because of that we have lost sales and the profit of 4,44,000. So this was the total productive hours 4,30,000 that actually contributed, and 1,15,000 we lost. Otherwise, they also would have contributed the sales of 22 lakh, and hereby we have lost the profit of 4,44,130. How will employee cost affect the organization? It will reduce the profits. Employee cost will reduce the profits. Higher the employee cost, it will reduce the profit. Employee cost, if you make a profit or loss account, does not employee cost is your debit in the profit or loss account? Employee cost reduces the profits. That's why it affects the organization. Vishwa? All right. So I hope you understood this question. Let's move on to the next question. All right. So now we'll be doing a slightly tricky question so that you can apply the concepts, what you have learned in employee cost. And see, the questions are tricky, but they are very conceptual. So if you're fundamentally very clear, see, in CA, it's very, very important that your concepts and fundamentals should be clear. So you can solve any question. Okay. They are very logical questions. Yeah. So just try to understand the question first. Try to try to structure the question. That is really going to help you before you solve the question. So just understand the question. What all is given. What all is given to you is very important. Because you have to calculate whatever is required in the question, you have to calculate from the information which is given in the question. So some information you will derive out of it. Some information is directly useful, some information will be indirectly useful. So you have to understand the question before you solve it. Clear? So let us try to understand this question. JBL Sisters operates a boutique which works for various fashion houses. So they operate a boutique and retail stores. It has employed 26 workers and pays them on time rate basis. Time rate means must be per hour. Clear? On an average, the employees allowed 8 hours for boutique work on a piece of garment. That means on a piece of garment, it takes 8 hours to complete that garment. What does that mean? It is not 8 hours per day. Many students make this mistake. It is not 8 hours per day. It is 8 hours it takes to complete one garment, because it's a boutique. Boutique, you understand? A fashion store. So it takes 8 hours to complete one piece of garment. In the month of December, two workers. Okay, so this is 21. It must be 21. So in the month of December, two workers, M and J. So there are two workers, were given 15 pieces and 21 pieces. M was given 15 pieces to complete and J was given 21 pieces to complete. The following are the details of their work. Workers are paid bonus as per Halsey system. The existing rate of wages is 60 per hour. So Halsey system is the bonus. Clear? And the wage rate is 60 per hour. The normal wage rate, the basic wage rate is 60 per hour. As per the new wages agreement, the workers will be paid 72 per hour with effect from 1st January. At the end of December, the accountant of the company has wrongly calculated wages to these workers taking 72 per hour. So second paragraph is very important. See, the first paragraph is M and J were two workers. M was given 15 pieces to complete and J was given 21 pieces to complete. Yeah? So 15 pieces will take 8 hours and 21 pieces will be also taking 8 hours. So here the time taken is given. Time taken by both the workers is given. You can calculate time allowed. You can calculate time allowed here. Time allowed is 8 hours per piece. 8 hours per piece. For M, if time allowed is 15 into 8. 120 hours. For M, the time allowed is 120 hours. And for J, the time allowed should be 168 hours. See, this is the information you need to find out first. So, M and J, 15 pieces and 21 pieces are given. Time taken by M is 100 hours on 15 pieces. Time taken by J is 140 hours on 21 pieces. Time allowed is one piece. They can 8 hours they take. Basically, it should be taken to complete one piece. So time allowed should be 120 and time allowed should be 168 for M and J. Have they saved the time? Yes. When they have saved the time, only then bonus will be paid as per Halsey system. Only when they save the time. And yes, both the workers have saved the time. So time saved in case of M is 20 hours and time saved in case of J is 28 hours. So time saved in case of J is 28 hours and time saved in case of M is 20 hours. I hope this is clear to all of you. Clear? Time taken is given. Time allowed you have to calculate because 8 hours per piece is given. Clear? So 15 pieces into 8 hours, 21 pieces into 8 hours. So time allowed we have calculated. But what they have done, workers will be paid as per Halsey system. The rate per hour is 60 per hour. But the accountant has wrongly calculated as per 72 per hour. 72 per hour was to be increased from next month. But they have calculated for December month only, they have calculated at the rate of 72 per hour. So the accountant has calculated it wrongly. Clear? The rate should have been calculated from 60 per hour, but the accountant has calculated as per 72 per hour. Calculate the loss incurred due to incorrect rate selection. Calculate the loss incurred. That means how much is the difference in the rate? 12 rupees per hour. 72 minus 60. The incorrect rate selection, the mistake was done as per 12 per hour. The mistake was to the extent of 12 rupees per hour. So you have to calculate how much the loss the company incurred due to the mistake of the accountant. Clear? So you have to calculate the earnings as per the Halsey plan. As per the Halsey plan. So 120 hours, 160 hours. So this is all the information. Let us try to do it. Okay. So Halsey plan. Okay. Now for M and for J.
it should be 60, but they have calculated as per 72. So 12 per hour is the difference. Now, how to calculate the wages? First of all, the main wages, the time taken was 100 and 120. The time taken is 100 and 140. The time taken is 100 and 140. So the mistake was as per 12 per hour. 12 per hour was charged in excess. So 100 into 12. You have to calculate the loss incurred due to incorrect rate. And the incorrect rate, the difference was 12. So calculate with the difference only. 100 into 12 will be 1200. Now the bonus. Bonus as per Helze, the bonus says 50% of the time saved. The 50% of the time saved means the time allowed was 120, the time taken was 100. So the time saved was 20 in case of M. The time saved was 20. 50% of 20 into rate per hour, which was the mistake, was 12. Clear? So 50% of 20 will be 10 hours. 10 hours into 12 will be 120. So 1320, the loss in case of M. Let's calculate in case of J also. So the wages, he took how many hours? Actually taken 140 hours. 140 hours he took. So 140 into 12. 140 into 12, 1680 wages and bonus. Bonus as per Helze plan. How much he saved? He saved 28 hours. So 50% into 28 into rate per hour, which is 12. So 14 into 12, 168. 1848. So this is the total loss incurred, 1320 plus 1848. The total loss incurred was 3168 as per the wrong rate selection when we follow the Helze method. Wrong rate selection. I hope you've understood. Yes. Yes. All right. So this is the loss incurred. I hope you have understood. 12 rupees per hour was actually the excess rate which was calculated. So you have to calculate the loss only with respect to the excess rate which was charged by the or the calculated by the accountant. So the wages and then the bonus as per Helze, the wages and the bonus as per Helze by the difference of 12 rupees. So 1320 in case of M and 1848 in case of J. The total loss, if we follow the Helze, was 3168. I hope you have understood. Yes. Just take note of the solution. The second is calculate the loss incurred due to incorrect rate selection had Rowan scheme being followed. So if the Rowan scheme was followed, then what have been the loss? If the Rowan scheme was followed, all right? So if the Rowan scheme is followed, I'm scrolling it down. So if the Rowan scheme is followed, what we do? See, the wages will remain the same, 1200 and 1680. So if the Rowan scheme is followed, M and J, quickly calculate it all of you. M and J, if the Rowan scheme is calculated, wages will remain the same. 100 into 12, 1200. And 140 into 12. It has to be 140. Yes. So 140 was the time taken. 1680. So, and now the bonus as per Rowan. Rowan says time saved. So 20 hours was saved by time allowed. Time allowed was, how much was time allowed? 120. 120 was time allowed. So 20 into 120. Rowan says time saved. Time saved is 20 divided by time allowed was 120 into 100 into 12. Clear? So what will be the bonus under Rowan? Just calculate. It should be 200. So it will come out to 200. So the total loss, if the Rowan system had been followed, again, we have to do as per the difference only. 12 per rupees, which was excessively charged. So the bonus under Rowan says time saved by time allowed into time taken into rate per hour. So it will come out to 200. And how much is the bonus for under J? Time saved is 28. By time allowed is 168. into 140 into 12. Time taken into rate per hour. So how much it would be? Just calculate for row 1 for J. It will be 280. So 1960 if row 1 system has been followed for M and for J. So the total loss if we follow the row 1 system is 3360. 3360 is the total loss. I hope you've got the answer. 1680, that is for Halsey. For row 1 scheme, 1400 in case of M and 1960 in case of J. Students, please calculate under row 1 also. We have to calculate the loss had row 1 system of bonus been followed. So wages will remain the same under both the systems, Halsey or row 1. Only the bonus will be different. So the bonus under row 1 system, 200 for M and 280 for J. So the total will be 3360. So have you calculated this? Yes. Dhyanesh has calculated 1400 and 1960. Yes. Jyoti has also calculated 1960. N, Jyoti, what do you mean by N? It should be J, M and J. It's not N. So we have to be very careful. All right. So it should be 3360 total under the row 1 case. All right. Take a note of this quickly so that we move to the question. The third part. The third part is calculate the loss of savings if row 1 scheme of bonus had been followed. So what is the loss of savings if row 1 scheme of bonus had been followed? All right. So loss will be, see, we actually followed the Halsey. So 1320 under Halsey and 1400 under, so M, 1400 minus, under row 1 it would have been 1320. So 1320. So they are saying we followed Halsey scheme, but if we followed row 1, how much is the extra loss we would have suffered? Extra loss. See, 1400 is also the loss. 1320 is also the loss. But if we had followed row 1, how much is the extra loss we would have followed? We would have incurred. So 1400 minus 1320. 80 would have been the extra loss if we would have followed row 1. So there is a wrong rate selection of 12 rupees. And if we have followed row 1, that 80 rupees extra loss we would have incurred. But we follow Halsey. But they are saying if row 1 we would have followed, what is the extra loss we would have incurred? So 80. Similarly for J, for Halsey it was 1848. And for row 1, 1960. So 1960 minus 1848. So this was the incorrect rate as per Halsey, incorrect rate as per row 1, incorrect rate as per Halsey, incorrect rate as per row 1. So row 1 has a greater loss, 1960 minus 1848. So 112 we would have incurred if row 1 we would have followed. So 12 is actually the loss, but if we had followed row 1, we would have incurred extra loss of 192 further. All right. So in Halsey, so the meaning thereby, if Halsey scheme was followed, the loss was 3168. But if row 1 scheme was followed, the loss would have been 3360. So the extra loss in row 1 would have been 192. That is the meaning of the third point. I'm explaining again. The third point says how much extra loss row 1 system is giving. So the loss as per Halsey was 3168, the total. And the loss as per row 1 was 3360. What is the extra loss on the row 1 system? 192. That means 3360 minus 3168. All right. Or you can calculate individually also. You can calculate individually also, or you can calculate total wise also. Clear? So this 192 is the answer for the third case. Yes. Yes, extra loss is 112 in case of J and 80 in case of M. Very good, Partha. So the total loss is 192. I hope students have understood this. Let me properly show you the answer also. So this is how we have done. It's a very good question. Must practice it. All right. So this was actually we did. So number of garments assigned. Let me just explain you properly. Yeah. So number of garments assigned, allowed per piece. So this was a total hours. This is time allowed. So this is time allowed. This is time taken and this is time saved. This is time saved. Okay, it's 20 hours and 28 hours. So incorrect rate selection 13201848, total 3168, which we calculated as per Helze. Yeah. So this is as per the Helze scheme. So the basically rate selection was, the excess was 12 per hour. So we have calculated as per 12 per hour. This we have done. Then as per Rowan, this was as per Rowan scheme. So the Rowan scheme, the excess wages paid was this per worker and the total was 3360. This we have just calculated. And the third is how much, because of Rowan, we also said this is also the loss, this is also the loss. But had it been Rowan, we would have incurred 80 extra loss and 112 extra loss. So 3168 is the loss, 3368. So this is also the loss, this is also the loss, but this is the extra loss. If Rowan, we would have followed. So Rowan is giving us extra loss. If we would have followed Rowan, so 192 extra loss we would have incurred due to incorrect rate selection. So students, I hope you have understood. Priyanka, efficiency rating procedure is basically how much percentage the efficiency of the labor is. It is depicted as a percentage. Clear? So let us say if the worker is completing the work in 5 hours and the standard time is 6 hours. So how much in percentage is the efficiency of that worker? So efficiency rating is for the worker, that how much efficient is for the worker, the worker is. And it is denoted in a form of percentage. It could be number of hours he has taken or number of units he produced. So efficiency, he could be efficiency if the worker is appraised, or if the worker, basically you will identify, you will analyze the performance of the worker on the basis of time. Then you will see how much time he has saved. And if the worker is analyzed on the basis of production, then you will see at the particular time how much units he has produced. So accordingly, his efficiency will be calculated as a percentage. That is what we call the efficiency rating procedure. All right. Solution material costing, last problem is shared. Okay, Saurabh, while I have told the concerned team, and they'll be sharing the solution. I believe the solution was shared, but okay. Loss of health is given, then we write to the company's paying and health, then the profit of 80 in 1v2. All right, we are moving to the next question. I think this question is solved and the query is also solved. Okay, so this is probably I think the last question for the session. I'll be sharing the PPT with you. The concerned team will be sharing. So there are more couple of questions which you can practice. So let's just understand this question. It's again a very, very good question for the replacement and the labor turnover. So just try to understand this question. HR Limited is progressing in its legal industry. One of its training executive, Mr. H. Personnel department has calculated labor turnover for the last year using flux method. Remember the method? So flux method, number of separations plus number of replacements, or number of separations plus number of replacements plus new joinings. Clear? So following is the data provided by the personnel department for the last year. So these are the employees at the beginning, joined, left. So left means the separations. Joined means recruited, and at the end. Clear? So this is the opening, this is the closing. So now, but many figures are missing here. Record clerks is there. So we have, first step is we have to complete this table. All right. Only then you can do the question. So some beginning are missing and some closing are missing. Yeah. So at the beginning, now average number we can calculate by opening plus closing divided by 2. Let me see all the next part of the question. At the beginning of the year, There were total 1158 employees at the beginning of the year. There were total 1158 employees on the payroll. 1158, let me go back to the question. So that means 1158 should be the total. This we have got from the question. 1158 is the total at the beginning. So total is given to us and many figures are missing here. The total is given. The opening strength of legal, secretary, staff and associate were in the ratio of 3:3:2. So this is going to help us to find out the missing figure. Legal, staff and associate. Legal, staff and associate. So these three all these three are missing. These three share the ratio of 3:3:2. All right. So whatever is the beginning employees, the ratio is 3:3:2. So this information we have given. We first need to find out, we first need to basically identify which all information is given to us. The company has decided to abandon the post of litigation attorney and consequently all litigation attorneys are transferred to the subsidiary company. So litigation attorneys, this is the litigation attorney. They are saying litigation attorney, they are abandoning the post. So that means they are abandoning the post. So that means there will be no litigation attorney at the end. So at the end, litigation attorney is nil. Yeah. And litigation transferred to the subsidiary company. So basically, litigation transferred to the subsidiary company. So this litigation was transferred to the subsidiary company from this company. So that means this 90 must be here. So litigation attorney has left from here and pass it on here. Clear? So they have litigation attorney, they have been transferred to the subsidiary company because they have abandoned the post of litigation company. That means there will be no closing litigation attorney at the end of the period. The company and its subsidiaries are maintaining separate set of books and separate personnel department. So we have to calculate the labor turnover rate as per replacement and separation method and also flux method. So let us see how we can find. So only this is the information. So they are saying that this subsidiary and the main company is different. So we have to focus on this part. Clear? The subsidiary, we don't have to focus on the subsidiary. We just have to focus on the main part. So we have to just find out the information. That means litigation attorney has been transferred to the subsidiary company. So they must have left from the main company and they have been transferred to the subsidiary company. And associate attorney also have been transferred. Associate attorney must also have been transferred. See, associate attorney has also, the employee was transferred to the subsidiary company. They must have left the main company. Yeah. So associate attorney is also, we have got it. 15 should have left and they have joined this. Now senior staff attorney joined. So employees transferred from subsidiary company. That means they must have joined the main company. So this have left and this have joined. So senior staff. So this 12 will come here. Senior staff has joined from subsidiary and senior records clerk has also joined from subsidiary. Senior records clerk has also joined from subsidiary. So we have filled some of the filling gaps. So now I think everything we have now, this information we have done. This information we have done. Now focus on the above information. Record beginning, join left, at the end we have human resource manager. Can we find at the beginning? Yes, we can find at the beginning. 60 now. 30 have joined, 90 have left, and 60 is at the end of the period. So how much is the beginning? Can you calculate? 60 plus 90 minus 30. It should be 120. 120 should be HRM at the beginning of the period. How I have done? 80 plus 90 minus 30. So at the end, closing we plus the left and we minus the joint. So you can reach up to the beginning. Clear? So closing add the left ones to the closing and deduct the joined ones to the total, you will get the beginning. So 60 plus 90 minus 30, you will get the HRM at the beginning of the period. Here, now what else we can calculate further? Litigation, 90 have left, so 90 must be in the beginning. Nobody has joined because they have abandoned the post. 90 have left, that means they have been transferred to subsidiary, so nil is left. So this also we have done. Senior records clerk, 12 beginning plus joined. So 12 plus 39, 51. That means there is no left. So this is correct. Clear? There is no one left from senior records clerk. Let's come to senior staff. 12, 6 plus 12. That means there is no one left. 18 is the closing which is given. All right. So now we have done all of them. Okay, we can do associate attorney also. 45 plus 15 minus 30. 45 plus 15 minus 30. It comes out to 30. It comes out to 30. All right. Now, how can you calculate the missing ones? See, the total are 1158. So the total is 1158. Deduct everything in the beginning, all the figures you have. So from 1158, deduct 810, deduct 120, deduct 30, deduct 66, deduct 12, and deduct 90. So from 1158 is the total employees in the beginning. Whatever employees we have, you please deduct out of them. So 1158 minus 810 minus 120 minus 30 minus 6 minus 12 and minus 90. So we are left with 90. We are left with 90. 90 must be shared by legal secretary and staff attorney. They were shared by associate also, but we managed to calculate the associate beginning. So the total of these two must be 90 and they are sharing it equal. So this way also you can do 45 and they must be 45 and 45. So either you can do this way or you cannot calculate this. So and plus 30. So the total has to be 120. Yeah, you can cross check also. So 1158 minus whatever we have calculated, we left with 90. So legal and staff are sharing the same ratio, 3:3. So 45 and 45. So the table we have completed for the company. Ignore the subsidiary ones because they have mentioned that they make a separate set of books. So any doubt in this table, once you finish this table, the 80% of the job is done. Clear? So I hope you have understood. Yes, very good. So some of you have calculated. Yes. So this is the way we calculate 45 each. Yes. Very good. Some of you have calculated. So this is the way we actually calculated and we have completed the table. Now let me show you the table in a proper way. Okay. So this is the beginning at the end. Now we have to calculate the labor turnover, we need to calculate the average. For the average, we want the beginning and at the end. And we have the beginning and at the end. We have just calculated. See, the beginning was 1158 and the end is 12690. I'm taking you back to the question where we calculated. We just picked up the beginning and the end. So all the beginning we have calculated and this was the end we all calculated. So 45 plus 90, it will be 135. 45 plus 60. So 45 plus 30 and minus 30. So here it is 45. So we have calculated this also. 2340, 60, 135. You can calculate 45 plus 90. There is no left. So 135. 45 plus 30 minus 30. The left. So balance is 45. This was already given. Clear? So we have the opening and the closing. So 1158 plus 2694 divided by 2. You can calculate the average. 1158 plus 2694 divided by 2 will come out to 1926 it's 1926 is the average. Average number of employees during this period at the end of the year. Yes, the average is 1926. Clear? So at the beginning we have calculated, at the end you can take these figures from the table And since we have calculated this, we have calculated the average. Now, from the table itself, we have taken the separations. That means the left ones. So take the separations from the table. Now, this is the new recruitment and the replacements. Here. So now come to the table again. From the table, you have to take the information of the joint. This here. All the joint 1620, 30, 90, 60. So you have to take for the next table, you have to take the data of the employees joined and employees left. Left means separations, joined means total joined. All right. So this is the total joining. Out of total joining, 1530 the new recruitments and the replacement. How you will find the replacement? 1620 is the total joining. 90 have separated. So that means 90 must have been replaced. All right. So this must have been replaced. And the balance is the new recruitment. So 90 have separated and only 30 have joined. That means the 30 must be the replacements only. Legal secretary, 90 is the new recruitment, no separations. That means they are totally new joinee. In staff attorney, 30 are new joinee, 30 have left, the 30 must be the replacement. You have to see first the new joinee and the separation. Compare the total joinee from the separations. Associate attorney, 30 have joined, 15 have left. That means 15 must be replaced and 15 are new joinee. In senior staff, 12 have joined. There were no separations. That means these must be new joinees only. Senior record clerk, 39 have joined. There were no separations. That means these must be the new joinees. And litigations, there is no new joinee. So that means they are only the left. So now how you can calculate the separation percentage? 315 total separated. So 315 separated divided by average number into 100. Here. And now the replacements, how many percentage of replacement? 165. So 165 divided by 1926 into 100 will give you the replacement percentage. This will give you the separation percentage. So this is the separation percentage. This is the replacement percentage. And flux method, all of the everything. 315 plus 1986 plus 165. So for flux, you have to add all the three. For flux method, you have to add all the three. In the question, the flux method is given that they have taken only replacements. They have not taken new joinee, but you have taken new recruitment also. For flux method, 315 plus 168 plus 165. 315 plus 1686 plus 165. So total are for flux 2166 divided by 1926 into 100. Clear? So this is the percentage of separation. This is the percentage of replacement. And this is flux. Flux, we have to take all the three. Separations plus new recruitments plus replacements. Clear? So this is the way we do it and we calculate it. So that is all for today, students. I hope you must have understood the concepts of labor turnover. Yes, Alok, we will... Okay. Yes, Alok, I will just forward the request to the concerned team so that they can share the PPT with you. Beta, you have to, practice it again because a lot of calculations have to be done. Unless you do it on your own, you will not understand. All right. So some of you must have got the idea how it is to be done, but this question you will understand only with lot of practice because a lot of calculations and because it's a question of missing figure. Yeah, so you have to do a lot of practice and then of course you'll be able to understand. Okay, Sunil, thank you. Right, so we'll be sharing this PPT with you and the solutions are there, of course, so you can again practice them. So that is all for employee cost from my side. So a lot of practice, happy studying to you. And since you will have the PPT and all the solutions are also there, so I think you will practice it well. Practice every question again, especially the last few questions. They are quite tricky and technical, and again with the missing figures. So concept should be clear, and then only you can, and of course you need a lot of practice with that. So with that, we'll be closing the employee course today, and happy studying to you. Hope I managed to make you understand the important concepts, and of course, a lot of practice will make it further clear. So that's all for today. Thank you, students. Have a good day.